What's up, kids? I'm having a hard time concentrating on recording a video update and manually shifting this 2007 Chevy Trailblazer, where third gear has committed suicide and left the building. This little video excursion is me, what I call the impossible journey, to limp back this fucking old, tired, worn out Chevy Trailblazer. And why do it? Because I've still got a lot of good parts in it. And I got another vehicle that stuff could swap over to. And I didn't want to make my daughter, she's a single mother, I didn't want to make her deal with this because she's got a little 4-year-old autistic son that she has to take care of, and she's also one of his therapists. She's trained and gets paid to work with him, which if you're low income and you have an autistic child, please look into the state that you're in and see, because in the state of Colorado, they'll let you become trained, certified to work with autistic kids, and then you can get paid by the state. It's a MFer. I'm trying to curb my cussing these days. It's really hard to get set up, but once it's set up, you can get paid to take care of your own kid in addition to working a regular job. You just do therapy sessions with your child and you get paid for it. And in any case, back to the story. So I came all the way 700 miles out here to swap vehicles, so my daughter had something halfway reliable to drive, at least with something with a good transmission, because, you know, she has to work and she's back and forth to court a lot with child custody case and the investigation with my grandson being abused by his father. I'm not going to go into details, but there was enough. The DHHS, enough of what a 4-year-old autistic boy, and he's mildly autistic, he's not severe. There was enough for them to feel like, yeah, we're gonna investigate this. So, and there is. I've heard him say some things that made my head want to explode and murder somebody. So that's another story for a different day. Anywho's, I'm trying to drive this 192,000 mile 2007 Chevy Trailblazer with the engine light on that's been on since I got it. And I think GM built this platform with the engine light programmed to come on around 25,000. I don't know. I'm just saying. I've had a couple of them, and there's always a check engine light. I guess that goes for a lot of used vehicles, but whatever. So this trip is about, and it kind of accidentally became about something else other than this journey that I'm on. This last second seat of the pants journey out to Colorado from Omaha, Nebraska to help my daughter. And along the way, I feel God speaking to my heart, and some of the other videos will talk about it, but God has, I gave him the opportunity and he grabbed me by the throat. I'll put it that way. That's the best way I can describe it. And when I say grab me by the throat, he's like, okay, you want to become better? This is the chance I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for you to ask me. That's how I feel. I feel like this is how I view God. I'm not a church person. I'm not a religious person. I'm a relationship person, and I have a relationship with my God, as I understand. And his pronoun is him. He says it in whatever. I'm not going to preach, but I couldn't get through these things that I've gone through with my daughter if I did not have a pretty decent relationship with a higher power, who I choose to call God. And baby. Man, she's just wanting to slip. So we are about 20 miles into this 700-mile journey back home, and I have to work tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, and I can do, she kind of does a little better at 60, 65, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll go from there. I'm probably not going to update very much, a whole lot, because I'm going to be driving and I want to shut the air off, because it's I'm up here in the High Plains Desert on the Front Range in Colorado, and it's pretty windy. They've got about 963,000 giant fans creating electricity out here, which I fully 150%. Yikes. Good brakes. Which I fully support. But it's not so good for doing videos in a car, is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna kick the air off, roll the windows down, and try to let this baby concentrate on doing the shifty thing and not run the AC and put more burden on the system. I'm running it right now because I'm in like Friday afternoon traffic, not going too fast yet, on Highway 24 heading out towards Lyman on my way back to Omaha. So we're gonna cut through Kansas, and it's been awfully stormy through the Plains states this year. I mean, if I could videotape at night, there are so many moths and mosquitoes and flying things and frogs that it feels like I'm in a parade and the person in front of me is throwing handfuls of bugs and frogs at me. They're just everywhere on the road. They're so bad that there's so much moisture out here that I lost traction a couple times in the Honda Ridgeline on the way out here. Yeah, so not looking forward to what kind of storm. We had tornadoes too. We had a couple tornadoes come through Omaha and just devastated a neighborhood, just wiped it off the map. And out in Elkhorn, right on the edge of Omaha. There's my manual upshift to drive. She does not like it. Come on, baby. We can do this. So, excuse me. I'm running like 62 miles an hour, and she's wrapped out at 4,000 RPM. There's no red line on a Chevy Trailblazer. Chevy's like, they don't need a red line. Just give them all of it and see what happens. And granted, in this motor on this platform, this inline 4.2 inline 6-cylinder, after 2007, or starting 2007, they're absolutely bulletproof. If you change the oil and and do some regular maintenance to them. There's guys out there drag racing them right now. There's guys getting 800 horsepower plus on a turbo setup with a 4.2 inline 6-cylinder. You don't believe me? Jump on YouTube and the googly thing and check it out. Man, it's bumpy here. Check it out for yourself. But what I'm saying is I'm not real worried about the engine, so I don't really mind the RPM so much. It's the slippage. It's the transmission saying, nope, not today. That's what worries me. And heading out towards Lyman, it's a stretch. It gets pretty hilly. I mean, it's pretty steep, and you're fighting this wind out here on the Front Range. So if we make it to Lyman, I think we got a really good chance of making it home. Did not drop the pan and change the fluid and filter. that was my plan, but the mechanic shop that, since I'm all the way out in Omaha and my daughter was here with the car, I had to have it looked at a mechanic shop that I trust. They've been pretty honest with me, and they pay themselves. Don't make a mistake there. They paid themselves, but they're also very fair and honest. So I talked to the general manager who also works out in the shop to help out. He's a certified mechanic, and I'm like, dude, tell me the truth. As crazy as it sounds, do you think this transmission will hold up for me to limp it back? Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. So anyway, another light came on. So I asked him, I said, so do you think I can lift this thing back home? And he's like, realistically, he's like, I think you can. He says, I'm not going to swear to it, but I think you can. And I'm like, that's all I needed. And I got a secondary light coming on here just as I'm talking, and it's the traction control light. Suddenly, I guess the computer thinks, hey, are we in a skating rink? Or is it snowing? Because stuff's happening and we ain't going nowhere. So the problem is, if I get to I-70, I can get it up over 60 miles an hour, where she seems to be able to kind of do okay-ish, considering there's no third gear, and second gear is shouldering all the burden and deciding whether or not he's going to go on vacation. So it's looking like we're going to be paying. I can't catch overdrive. That's what's tripping me out here. I can't catch overdrive. So we're at 4,000 RPMs at 62 miles an hour, and it sounds like it. I promise you that. I don't know if it's coming through on the video, but she's not happy. She's screaming. So I may be limping back to Colorado Springs and renting a U-Haul and a trailer, possibly. I don't know yet. We'll see. Should I have done that first? Probably. But I'd rather keep that money in my pocket. And I had a family member send some money to help out in case something happened. I have a little bit of money, but I don't have replaced the transmission 350 miles halfway between Omaha and Colorado Springs. I don't have that kind of money. So, that's my life right now. Well, I watch a YouTube channel. There's a guy I really respect. I respect his whole family. His wife is a saint. Reminds me of my wife. His wife is a freaking saint. And Derek Bieri, Vice Grip Garage, is a lot of the reason why I'm even doing this video, why I'm even on this crazy journey that I call the impossible journey. Because I watch what he does. He'll buy a vehicle, sight unseen, online, and then he'll fly if it's close enough. I think he drives, or somebody drives, I don't know. Anyway, he goes all over the country, and I'm talking like all over the country. Like, goes out, buys his vehicle, shows up, it'll be sitting in a field. I've seen like 1950s, 1940s vehicles. Even I think he did a 27 Ford or something, 1927 Model A or something, and drove that home. But he goes out, he takes a little bit of parts, or he flies out and buys parts and tools that he needs, so he doesn't have to haul them around when he's flying. And then he'll fix it on site, no matter what's going on. I mean, I've seen him take motors that are locked. And when I say they're locked, I mean anybody else would give up. And I've seen him break them loose. You can watch his videos and find out. But anyway, he's a huge inspiration for me. Part of why I felt like I connected with him is a lot of his mannerisms remind me of myself. I have the same sense of humor, I feel like. They're both kind of dark and twisted and sarcastic. And it's nice to watch somebody else work on something and cuss. Not that he cusses, because I think I've heard him cuss 1 or 2 times in all the, 100 plus videos I've watched of his. But it's entertaining to me. It's nice to watch somebody else struggle for a change. Because I've been buying used vehicles and flipping them on the side and working on them since I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, my stepdad, we had a lot of people in our family at first, and then my stepbrothers and sister moved on, and we didn't have any money, is what I'm saying. We had to work on stuff. So I learned starting at, 8 or 9, I think, when he started asking if I wanted to help. I don't remember if it was, you're helping me. He wasn't that kind of man to bark and say you're going to help me. But I enjoyed it. I remember wanting to, and I enjoyed it. I like finding out how things work. So I have to shout out to Derek and his family, and Little Grip Garage. I gotta mention Little Grip Garage. That's his 12-year-old son, and check them out. Check out Vice Grip Lodge too. It's just something that was sorely needed, I think, in this ugly world that we're in. It's like people are I think he just blown up. I think because they're genuine. They're genuine people. They're not. At least I don't get from them that they're in it for the money or fame or anything. Hey, there's Overdrive. Look at you. Go, baby. So I think people are really hungry for something new and different that isn't vanity and, for lack of a better phrase, greedy. Somebody's in it for honest reason, and he's been able to take care of his family. Do I think I'm Derek Bieri? Do I think I'm on that kind of level? Or anybody else who's got really good podcast, YouTube channel? No, I'm not. Am I really entertaining? No. Maybe if I had $1 million, I could relax a little bit and loosen up and be more myself. But there's just a lot of stress in my life right now, is what I'm trying to say. My daughter, if she didn't have bad luck, that's all I'm going to say. But I'm ride or die with her because she's fought through some ugly stuff in her life, and always got back on the horse and kept going. So I respect the shit out of her, even though she makes some really, really dumb decisions sometimes. But who hasn't? and I'm saying that because I've made some really, really dumb decisions in my life, you know. But she never gives up. She always goes to work. She doesn't sit around eating ice cream and collecting money from the state, although she does participate in the programs that are made available to low-income single mothers, which I think she should. And I don't mind my taxes going if they're honestly out there doing what she's doing. But you gotta, on this whole other thing, I gotta go on a tangent about this. Our country, the federal government will send money to states for programs to help underprivileged. I don't know all the fancy terms that they're using, and I don't give a shit, but it is what it is. They're poor people, and I've been poor. I've been homeless. Poor people who can't make it. And they set this system up for failure. Now, if you'll kick back and you won't work, and you don't work, and just sit there and have kids, and there's no, 15 different baby daddies, there's money all day long. But if you try to have some self-respect and some pride and try to better yourself and be an example for your kids, your family, and you try to go to work, we were just talking, my daughter and I were talking today before I left about a friend of hers, a gal whose kid was in my grandson's daycare, and this gal lost her CCAP because she got a raise and it put her just above the limit. So she now doesn't know how she's going to pay her bills because she's having to pay the daycare rates all by herself. And I don't know if you got kids. So many people out there that do. You're shaking your head. Yep. Yep. You know how much it costs for child care these days. And CCAP is competitive. I mean, your kid cannot miss more than a certain amount of days for any reason, or else you lose the CCAP. So I'm preaching to the choir for a lot of you ladies out there, single moms. But I just had to rant a little bit about all that was on my mind and my heart about how crooked things are. And then these states, they set up these programs to where they've got these impossible boundaries. Just like I was describing it. If you make certain, so you get a raise at work that you didn't ask for. It's like these ladies out here, they gotta almost ask not to have a raise. I think I told my daughter that. I think she was in that situation before. She was afraid of losing it. I said, you got to change jobs, or you got to talk to them and say, don't give me a raise, because then I won't be able to pay my bills. And I'm sure they looked at her like she had 3 heads and goat horns on her head. But it's just, I don't know. I let that one go. I just fed up with that kind of stuff, what we do in this country. So to tie it back into what this impossible journey thing, and how it's taken a really weird little side journey. Holy cow, this thing is staying cool. It's not getting hot, even though it's wrapping out to the max. Where was I going? Alzheimer's is an ugly thing. So, in any hoose, this thing called the impossible journey, it's I don't know, it's kind of it's taken on a life of its own. And I don't care if nobody watches these videos, because I'm doing this for me, because I wasted so much of my damn life doing stupid shit and just being lazy. I'm fat, I'm overweight, I'm a big guy, but I've always been overweight. But I was raised, you work hard. I've always had to work twice as hard or more than skinnier guys. And you might think, oh, bullshit. Yeah, I do. I've had to. Because if you're handsome and people like you, you don't have to work as hard because you know you're whatever, you're sucking somebody's butthole trying to be their buddy or whatever. But I've worked with guys half my age and worked circles around them just because I can't just sit still. It's just the way I am. So in any case, this I gotta upshift and hope she catches overdrive. Come on, overdrive, where are you? So I'm trying to change my life is what I'm saying. I'm trying to become a better person. And I've been operating on this principle for a while where I try every day, and I suck at it. I'm horrible. But it's always in the back of my mind chewing on me. And for me, doing these videos is me jumping out of my comfort zone because I do not like being out in the public eye. Parties as growing up, as a teenager, and then later as an adult, I'm always the guy sitting on the edge, staring in from the side, watching people because when I'm with my friends in a comfortable setting and I'm comfortable, then I'll let my hair down or let my beard down. Is that how that went? I don't know. So I don't care if anybody watches these videos. I don't care if it gets monetized. I don't care. I'm doing this for me. But what I do care about, I do hope at least one person watches them, and I hope there's one thing that I have to say that maybe somebody can grab a hold of and maybe change their life for the better. Like maybe they can connect with what I'm saying and go, yeah, okay, I smell what you're cooking. I got it. And maybe they'll start their channel and become the next Joe Rogan or Danny Jones. Jim Brewer is another one. And I mentioned the people that I like to watch, other than Derek Bieri and Vice Grip Garage. But that's what this whole thing is about. And wow, she's using the gas. She's gonna eat all the oil that I brought with, and I brought a case of oil. I brought a case because I knew she's gonna be wrapped out and she's gonna be drinking heavy. And she's the girl at the party that drinks a little too much and says, "I think I'm drunk." And the gas. I can't wait to see what this gas bill is going to be driving 700 miles back home. Especially this part, eastern part of Colorado, in the flatlands, the desert plains, going down into Kansas, which, if you've ever driven down I-70 in Kansas, it's like driving across the kitchen table. It's just flat. It's flat. So the wind gets going there too. And they got Kansas has those little electric little helicopter thingies there all over the place too, which is a good thing. I'm all about renewable energies. Speaking of which, here's a rant. Another thing that frustrates me about our government. We got states legalizing weed. So the state that I live in, Nebraska, I think they might have passed a measure for farmers to grow hemp. But I'm telling you right now, this country, if we grew hemp, as much hemp as we grow corn, we'd change the world. We'd change the world. This country would have money coming out of its ass. We're spending it right now like it's coming out of our ass and like we're rich. But we would actually have the money that we're spending instead of just printing monopoly money and handing it out to 563 other countries while people are starving on the street. But anywho's, I digress. Once again, cannabis. So cannabis oil, I don't remember what the statistics are in the studies. the seed oil from either cannabis or a hemp plant. Hemp, we're talking about hemp. So the seeds, the oil is extremely viscous, like more so than petroleum. They have to add petroleum is not very viscous. They have to add a lot of additives and things to them, and cook it in a pot in the microwave, and add magical dust to it, and whatever else they do to it. But we could be using hemp oil in machine shops. We could be using hemp oil in our engines. We could be using hemp oil on our bodies, as a lot of people do these days. I think I love the shit. There's a cereal I found one. I haven't bought it for a while because I haven't seen it, but it's a cereal with hemp. It's mostly hemp seeds, and it's the most delicious shit on the planet. It's like food crack. I love that shit. I think that's why I stopped buying it. It was like all I was eating. I was like pooping through a funnel without touching the sides, or I don't know. Anyhow, we could, people are already doing stuff. There are awesome people out there right now that are doing things with hemp products. But I think what I'm saying is I want to see us as a nation, and maybe we need to start it at the state level. Fuck this country. And when I say fuck this country, I don't mean that. I mean, like, I love my country, but I mean as the corporation or incorporate whatever that was set up through what do they call it? My Alzheimer's kicked my ass again. The laws that they use for the ocean, for marine law, I don't know, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. I think that we should be creating all kinds of products out of hemp. Clothing, paper, especially paper. Man, you take an acre, I don't know, I've heard the figures, I don't remember what they are. Take an acre of hemp, and it's ready to cut in what, 3 months? So you're getting 3 or 4 harvests a year if you're in the right part of the country growing it with the right soil. It's a weed. It grows like a weed in Nebraska. So in Nebraska, hemp grows wild. I don't know if y'all know that. Back for the war efforts, I think starting with World War I, that farmers grew it. I think they got paid by the government, if I remember right, to grow hemp because they needed it to make ship moorings, those giant ropes for anchors and for tying ships at the dock. It's incredibly strong, has an incredibly high tensile strength, especially when woven the right way. And so back to the 3 or 4 crops a year. You think about an acre of forest. How long does it take to regrow an acre of forest of trees where it can be harvested again, if that's all you're doing with them, which I fucking hate. I don't think we should be doing that with trees. How much more? 20 years? 15, 20 years? And you measure that against how much hemp paper you can make, that when it's all said and done, you can't, I mean, the hemp paper is a better product. It's sturdier, more resilient, it's renewable. Hello? So think about how much hemp you could grow, how much hemp paper you can make in 20 years, as opposed to how much paper you can make from one cut of a 20-year growth of an acre of trees. Think about it. Why aren't we doing that? And you add in this whole thing with CBD and CBG. I don't know if y'all know this. I didn't know it until later in life when people started doing studies. Your body has, I believe the numbers are over 10,000 CBD receptors in your body. Your body creates CBD, cannabinoids. Our bodies is like, what's going on? How has this not been a part of our lives since we were born? And I'm not just talking about my life. I'm talking about like for eons. And it used to be. But start thinking about that, thinking about why we aren't making some of these things. The big thing that I want to get at is that in Nebraska, there's a few moms that have gotten so desperate. They have to, before, now they can go to Missouri, but they had to drive, like I am, they had to drive all the way to Colorado to get some CBD oil or hemp oil for their kids with epilepsy, because these a few government studies over the years showed, and it's now been kept under wraps. I don't know why. I think it's been 20 years since they discovered this, but there's some guys out there on YouTube, guys with Parkinson's, women with Parkinson's, and people with epilepsy, and their kids with it, and you can look these videos up yourself. Full-blown grand mal seizure. Kids that have, like, I don't know, some of these kids, they're talking like 500 to 700 seizures a day. Like, all the kids do is sleep because they're so exhausted from all these seizures. How are we letting even just one child live that way when we've got the cure? And we could make it legal for these moms. But these moms and dads, and I don't want to exclude dads. These families are driving across state lines to go buy these products that give some semblance of relief for these kids with epilepsy. You go look at these videos, you go watch them, these guys with Parkinson's, and these aren't people acting, trying to set up a YouTube channel to make money. These are people that you watch these videos and you know. I mean, there's a lot of fake shit out there, but these people have the physicians' documents and notes and what do you want to say, assessments of their physical situation. We could cure these people. I won't say that. We could almost cure it to where they could at least live out the rest of their lives with some semblance of decency, self-respect, and normality. This thing with my neck, I've got an involuntary head pull, and I've spent all day, every day, fighting it. And by the end of the day, I hurt so bad I want to cry like a little girl with a skinned knee. So, went too far. We don't want reverse. That's going to shut the party down right now. So anyway, there's just a lot of things that we could be doing as a nation for ourselves, and I think that we need some change. I think that people, especially after the unmentionable act of 2020 that you can't say on these platforms. I think I heard a guy on Jim Brewer, the Brunoverse. He said, what did he say? He said, he changed it around and said VidCo. That's a good way to slip past the analytics. But anyway, why can't we take care of ourselves for once? And I'm not about ignoring what's going on with, I'm not going to get into politics, but there's been other countries out there with starving children and starving people forever. And there's been people and children in the United States that have been starving and don't have enough to eat forever. And I kind of look at it this way. If you don't take care of you, how can you take care of other people and give them the quality of care that they deserve if you're coming from your heart in that manner? How can you take care of people if you can't take care of yourself? Because eventually you're going to burn out and then you're not there for them. I'm just saying. So why can't America take care of America? And I'm not saying just stop sending all money everywhere. I'm saying we need to stop sending a lot of it, especially this unaccounted for bullshit, like to the tune of $20 trillion, I think, where this fucking, I don't want to say it because the algorithms, this whole deal with Europe, the place in Europe where there's some stuff going on for a couple years. That's all I'm going to say. We could have cured homelessness with the same money that we've sent to this country. In Vietnam, we didn't send this much money to take care of the orphans that were left over from that ugly ass 30-year war. And it was a 30-year war. You do the homework on it, because I did a report on it in school. There's a book called The 10,000 Day War. Look it up. It'll make your head explode. But we give just the money that we've sent to this country, and certain people in certain positions in the country want to send more. And nope. We need to take care of some things here. We need to legalize marijuana completely. And nobody wants to touch it. Nobody in politics. Not even the people that we need to. I mean, they just recently, I think they descheduled marijuana and cannabis products down to, I mean, it should just be legal. That's how I look at it. It's it's far less evil than alcohol, in my opinion. And I'm an alcoholic. I don't drink anymore. But I got some experience with that shit. Is all what I'm saying. So I don't know how we're gonna do it. I don't know how we're gonna save ourselves. You know, maybe it's as simple as what I'm doing right now. Let this motor cool. Relax a little. Damn. Maybe it's as simple as start a YouTube channel. Rant and rave. Talk about the things that you want to see change. And then go out and make some change. Go out and do some things. Do some things for other people. And you don't have to build them a house or anything, but I mean, there's a lot you can do. I mean, some of you out there, if anybody ever watches this, some of you got to have like an elderly neighbor who can't mow their lawn anymore. I mean, it's something that I did years ago when the situation popped up and I felt God lean on my heart. And I'm telling you right now that, you know, and we're all having to work harder today because our money is worth so much less. So I get it. But 45 minutes to an hour and mow somebody's lawn for them, somebody who can't afford it, you know, what's it cost you? Gas and time, sweat. Make dinner. I mean, some of you know your neighbors, or you know somebody who's in the hospital, got a sick spouse in the hospital or something, and make a dinner for somebody. And I know we all don't have a lot of money these days, and that takes time and it takes money. It takes time away from, you know, relaxing after working 3 jobs and 653 hours a week. I've done it. I was doing it last year. I worked at Amazon and I worked where I'm working now. I did both of them. But I quit. That's part of the thing. I'm like, I can't do this. Yeah, I need the money, but I'm 53 years old. My body is tore up from the floor up, and I've been drugged down the street 15 ways from Sunday. Physically, I was a welder and a fabricator my whole life. I used my body like I was like a human forklift. I was a strong motherfucker, I'll put it that way. But I was stupid about it. I injured myself. You know, as I started to get older, maybe I didn't realize. I started to get older, and my brain's like, go get that. We've lifted more than that before. Go get that picked up, carried over there. And I get there, and my body's like, fuck you. You know, I had a bicep tendon snap. That was one of the things that happened. I went over and I went to pick something up. I went at it with the same force and movement and action that my brain was used to. And the bicep said, see ya. It actually tore off at the elbow. It tore halfway through at the top, at the shoulder. And then I tore a rotator tendon. Because I remember the 3 tears, the 3 rips. It's like, I don't know if anybody's clean chicken or clean game. And when you're ripping those tendons, you know, breaking, separating limbs, there's a certain sound, and when I heard it and I felt it hurt. I'm gonna tell you right now, it hurt. It didn't hurt after, which was bizarre. And I don't think it was just adrenaline. It just, once that thing was torn, you know, the pain's over. But I had it replaced or repaired. It ain't the same. So I don't know what I'm rambling on for. I guess I'm just bored out here. We're passing right now. I don't know what you're able to see out through the window along a lot of nothing. But I'll turn I don't know how to turn the damn camera around now. See, I'm not good at this shit. But we got these big windmilly things out here, and I'm just coming up on that big nasty hill, so I can't cut the show right now because the engine's about ready to lay down on the floor, kicking and screaming, and the transmission's gonna probably fall out the back of the car here in a second because I'm on like a 15% grade. This hill's like a quarter to a half mile long. Come on, baby. You got this. Come on, this is the last big one. You can do it. She's pulling good. She's pulling pretty good. I know you're tired. God, what a view on top of this hill. I don't want to mess with grabbing the camera off the dash and turning it for y'all to see, but just this flat nothing has its own beauty to it. That's another thing that I love about Vice Grip Garage and the revivals of these old cars that he's going out and reviving and getting back on the road before they get smashed and never seen again. You know, a lot of these vehicles are unicorns, but it's the journey. It's about the journey that I appreciate, that I like and respect. When he goes out and he travels and leaves his family behind, sometimes he takes the kids, which I respect the shit out of. You can't not respect the shit out of somebody. You know, his kids are out of school for summer, or school, spring vacation or whatever, and he'll take them with him. But it's the journey of him going out and fixing these. Oh, come on. This hill's nothing. You got this. And it's about, you know, when he gets there and the fight and the struggle and the satisfaction when he breaks a motor loose that's been sitting with water in the cylinders for 27 years. Oh, baby, don't do this. So, you want to go faster? Will that help? Because slower, sure the fuck that isn't helping. Excuse my French. And I'm not slamming on the French because I am part French. That's kind of not doing good either, is it? I better stick with like 62. God, it's going to be a long trip. But, watching him go out and get like I think one of my favorites is a 69 Caddy that was buried up to the axles in mud, just been sitting in like a wet soil for the whole 43 years or whatever. I've been sitting there, and the journey back in these vintage rides. You know, some of these cars that he brings back, you know, they're like the Plymouth Duster. And no offense to you, Derek, I know you like them, but when I was in school, the Plymouth Duster was a Plymouth Duster. It's the kid on the playground that nobody wanted to play with. Okay? That's just what it is. But some of the other ones, you know, like the lime green Corvette, you know, and the yellow Corvette, then he put the supercharger on this old L88 motor that was probably so tired and had Alzheimer's itself. He's like, I love that about him. He'll throw a supercharger on something that, you know, it shouldn't be happening. But in my mind, I'm like, yep, 100% Derek, go get him. And he catches the thing on fire in a burnout competition with it. I believe he had with his arm stuck out the window, holding old glory, blowing in the breeze. I can't think of anything more. Well, let's be honest, more redneck. I got a little bit of redneck in me, but it's the America. You know, and another thing about, you know, I have the freedom that one of the things I love about this country, I got the freedom that I can have, I don't know, there's maybe 113 cars lined up behind me. A few of them have been ballsy enough to pass in between the oncoming traffic. And I'm trying to hug the line so I give them room. But, you know, I can, people like Derek and even you know, like Derek says, you know, I took his challenge seriously. He challenges people to get off the couch. And I love watching TV when I'm off work. You know, my body hurts from sun up to sundown after a week of work. I work in a data center. We've got umpteen buildings across the campus, and I do a lot of walking. So my big ass, my bones hurt. My knees ain't got no cartilage left in them. But that we could live in a country where we can do shit like be on YouTube and affect change in other people's lives. You know, what's the word? Some of the kids these days, they call them influencers, something like that. And people pay them. You know, company and corporations pay them. And God bless these kids out there doing it. If you can do that, and man, I can't think of it. There's this kid that does some car projects. I can't think of his name. He's absolutely bananas out of his gourd, and I love that about him because he reminds me of myself. I can't think of his name, but he took a. What did he do? He took a '67 Mustang Fastback, I believe, and he put like a Honda engine in it. I think he turboed it, and then he had a Jeep rat rod he built with like a Muncie 4-speed and a stroker motor. You know, that we have the freedom in this country to do bananas shit and go and get on YouTube and, you know, doing the thing, living our best lives. But, you know, on the flip side of that, I think we have a responsibility as a society for our fellow man to, my ears are popping, coming out of elevation. We have a responsibility to our fellow man, and I feel, and that's what I believe what Jesus wanted, what he talked about, what he lived for and tried to live out. If he is who he says he was, and I believe that he is. He didn't talk about building buildings. He talked about taking care of your fellow. I mean, that's what they did. He went around and I wasn't there. The Bible says he healed people, and I believe it. That's just me. There's crazy stuff going on. There's some healings going on in Africa and stuff that would blow you. And I'm not talking about fake stuff either. It's the stuff that the governments try to cover up. They don't want people knowing that there's people out there that are so in tune with what God wants, that God blesses them with his power to heal people. But if you're out there and you do have a channel, and you know you get 1 million viewers, and you're getting money as an influencer, do something for somebody else other than yourself. I don't care what it is, but do something real. Don't be like some of these people that go out there and it's all, everybody knows them when they're doing it. It's all for show. Look at what I did. Aren't I so great? You know, they'll throw some money at something and then you'll never see them do anything again. Find something and stick to it. I mean, if I won the lottery or something, I'd help a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that use people that have a good heart, but they got to answer for it someday. So that is what it is. Holy shit. Well, we made it to Lyman, and I can see Lyman now, about a mile and a half. So I'm gonna cut this for now. I've been ranting for, I don't know, an hour. But y'all be blessed, and I'll update later. Do the thing. Take care of people.